Good evening. How are y'all doing? I hope you're going to have a good Wednesday evening. Maybe you've got had supper already, or you've got supper plans and you're fixing to eat. So I hope you have a good night and a good rest of the week. And stay with me after we get through with our verses here in devotion. I got some information or update on what we will be doing as a church over the next course of the next number of weeks, and how we will continue to have our church together. So Psalm 128 was what we're going to look at tonight. What is the center of your life? Center of your life should be reverence to God. This verse is going to say the fear of God. The fear of God should be the center of our lives. This psalm, Psalm 128, is divided into three parts. It addresses the individual, and then it addresses the individual's impact on the family, and then it addresses the family's impact on the nation. It talks about how one impacts the other, and they grow and they move in a cohesiveness together. So verse 1. How blessed is everyone who fears the Lord, who walks in his ways. That blessed means happy. Now it's a happiness that goes beyond material happiness. Like somebody mails you a large check, or you receive a gift, a large gift, a gift worth a lot of money, and that would make you happy for a moment, but then it too would fade away. But this blessed speaks more, goes past material happiness, and it means there's an inner satisfaction in our lives. So that's what this blessed is saying. How blessed is everyone who fears the Lord. The fear of the Lord means there's a reverence, not a cowering type. We read fear of the Lord and we often think, well, it's a cowering type of fear. But it's a reverence, it's a respect for God. When there is reverence, you walk in his boundaries. What are his boundaries? His boundaries are found in his word. Now, verse 2 shows you the results of living a life like this, with his boundaries. Verse 2. When you shall eat of the fruit of your hands, you will be happy, and it will be well with you. God will provide your needs, is what he starts out saying. You're going to eat of the fruit of your work. God's going to provide your needs. And that's something we need to hear right now, that God will meet our needs. He says you will be happy. You will be blessed. That means if you're knocked over, God will pick you up. A blessing from God will be him picking you up. Then the psalmist says it will be well with you. Looking forward, talking about a future time. God is in the future, and he knows what lies ahead. He is there and says, hey, it's going to be okay. He says if you have a reverence for God, it will be okay, because he holds tomorrow in his hand. You know who doesn't hold tomorrow? The government doesn't hold tomorrow. Medical experts don't hold tomorrow. People who make charts and graphs and predictions, they don't hold tomorrow. Only God holds tomorrow in his hand, and he says it will be well with you. Now look what happens with this reverence for God when it goes with your family. This moving from individual to family now, verse 3. Since the man has reverence with God, your wife shall be like a fruitful vine within your house, your children like olive plants around your table. The wife will flourish spiritually when the husband follows God. The children will be useful in life. The olive plant in that day and time was very useful. Its oil was used for everything. So the psalmist says, when there's a reverence for the Lord, the children will be very useful. They will be very productive, all because the individual started with this reverence and it spilled over into the family. Now verse 4, behold, for thus shall the man be blessed who fears the Lord. Now this blessed is different than verse 1. This one means an abundant, an adored, saluted. The man who fears God, his wife will flourish, his children will be productive, and the man will be adored by others, is what the psalmist is writing. Now verse 5, the Lord bless you from Zion, and may you see the prosperity of Jerusalem all the days of your life. Now, the nation, this is talking about the nation. Now, the nation turns and says, our security is in the family that trust in God. Do you know why America is blessed today? Because we're founded on Christian values. The Puritans tried to purify the English church, but they left and they came to America and they established the Mayflower Compact. Their belief was to come over here and spread the gospel. They had a great work ethic. They had a great family ethic. They had a biblical worldview. They worked and trained the next generation, and 300 plus years later, you and I are still reaping from what they did. That's what is said here. They realized that the nation was blessed. God blessed the families, and that stabilized the nation, all because of the individual. The individual determined that I'm going to have a reverence for God in my life. That played into the family, and the nation realized we are blessed because of this. God blessed families, and that stabilized the nation. $2.8 trillion bailouts will not stabilize a nation. $3+ trillion bailouts will not stabilize a nation. Only God brings order to chaos. Last verse. Indeed, may you see your children's children. Peace be upon Israel. There is peace in a nation when there is reverence for God. So that's our devotion for this evening. I hope you're blessed. Hope you've been blessed by hearing these devotions. We'll continue these as long as needed. Now, speaking about Sunday, you've heard churches can go back to in-person services. That might have even started last Sunday, but there's a lot of restrictions to that. And I'm not real sure that ours fits doing that immediately. The restrictions are masks need to be worn, 6 foot social distancing, and to get us in the sanctuary, many of you back row Baptists are going to have to sit in the front, and that's going to be awkward. The back will have to exit first. It'll be one person in the bathroom at a time, and then after that person leaves, there'll have to be a sanitizing and cleaning of the bathroom. So it's going to be difficult to meet immediately. You'll be able to, you can sing, but it's recommended that you sing behind the mask. And to me, that's not real worship. That's not fun. That's not the fellowship that my heart and spirit needs, to be hidden behind a mask and to be still so distant from everybody. Also, the population of our church is more older, is more mature. Now, my family, we don't live with the same concerns that another family in Olive might have. When the restaurants open up, I'll go there and eat twice that day if I can get in and get a table. Others, they will choose to wait a bit, a day, a week, or two, and that's okay. That's when they get comfortable, they can go back. I have a friend in Texas, and Texas opened up a couple of weeks ago for their churches, but they had the social distancing, they had masks at that time, and he said it was very awkward. It was very not traditional, regular church, and it just wasn't what they were used to. So it was strange. So as you see other churches have in-person services, our church is going to be a little slower on that end. We will stay with the drive-in for just a little bit longer. And I guess somebody confirmed that to me because they pulled up Sunday, and I've been praying about this and asking God, what should we do? I want to move forward, but I also want to respect the others at church as well, and their needs and how fast or quick we should do something, make a change. But this one person drove up, and like I said, it was just maybe an affirmation from God, and they said, I sure do like these drive-in services. How can we keep doing this a little longer? So they didn't know what I was thinking. But so we're going to continue the drive-in for just a little bit longer. Then maybe we'll move to an outdoor service. We'll sit in lawn chairs. We'll social distance in the lawn chairs, but as the restaurants open up and they can have greater capacity with outdoor seating, that would be a good time for us to possibly do a lawn chair service. Because what I hear from a few people is that they are enjoying the drive-in, but they don't know who's behind them, who's in the car a few cars down from them, and they don't see them, so they're missing that. So a lawn chair service in the parking lot, we would still be able to see each other, but still at that acceptable social distance, and people would feel more comfortable with that, especially the older demographic. So hopefully the outdoor service will help with a little bit of the fellowship, at least waving from a few spots away. Now, if it gets too hot, we may need to start the service at 9:30. As temperatures warm up into June, and if we're still doing something like that, outdoorsy type, we may need to move the service to 9:30. That'll just have to be play by ear thing. Then after a little time with that, maybe we go to the gym. Maybe we're able to space out and everybody feels more comfortable in the gym. We can space out there. It gives us a whole lot more room to move around and still keep that social distancing as needed. And then before too long, we'll be resuming the services in the sanctuary. Because I miss being in the sanctuary. I miss Sunday nights. I miss Wednesday nights. I miss the extra teaching that goes on in those times. And what I don't want to happen is rushing back for us, is because when I walk out of Walmart, go to Walmart now, and I walk out of Walmart, I feel as if I wasn't supposed to have been at Walmart because of all the restrictions and because of all the way people treat each other now. If they hear somebody coughing, or heaven forbid, they sneeze, and it's like they're infected with it, and everybody runs from them. So I feel like I walk out of Walmart dirty now. And I don't want that attached to the church building because of cumbersome restrictions. So for our demographics, for us currently, today at Olive, our move will be a tad slower maybe than other churches. But we're going to progress. We will progress toward normal. I hope I have presented that well. I hope that I've made that understandable. That's kind of our plan, at least today at 6:15 on Wednesday. That's our plan for the near future of what we'll be doing. So it's a flexible plan. Be flexible. Thank you for your flexibility. We'll see you Sunday, 10:30 a.m., Drive-In Church. Thank you so much for your faithfulness, for your openness, for your flexibility, for your giving as well. You are such wonderful people. We enjoy serving with you and ministering with you. I hope you have a good evening and the rest of the week. God bless you.